Because I come from Africa.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the situation whereby people take this sort of revenge, unless, of course, I don't recollect anything like that. But I'm not sure. I've not seen.
You mean here?
No, no. Even back in Africa,
Yes.
I've not seen such revenge for the honor of the family, or for the sake of the honor of the family. This kind of revenge being taken, like we hear in the news lately.
Yeah.
So we want to look at the origins. Now, what really interests me is, I want to find out from you, because you have an Asian background. Can you maybe look into your society and the culture of the Asians? What is it that would drive somebody to want to revenge the disgraced honor of the family by wanting to kill or to do something, rape or whatever that we're talking about?
Yeah. Okay, let me say about my research. I did some research with colleagues in India.
Yes.
On the incident of the gang rape
Yes.
in December 16th,
Yes.
2012. And we were looking in different ways to try to explain, and mainly, of course, to come up with some recommendations. I would say it was a very tough task, because where do you start? There are so many different reasons to look at.
Yes.
And then we try to kind of categorize the main factors, saying, okay, if you look in the Indian culture, what could be the reasons?
Yes.
So I can now give a few of those main factors. Of course, okay, we can look at the social factors. And within the social factors, we said, okay, it is a society where the father is considered as the head of the family. The father has, a very important position. We call it a patriarchal society.
Yeah.
And we have seen that women in those societies are dominated, oppressed, exploited. So that was one of the causes also, if we talk about gang rape.
Yes.
Of course, what we have found is not the direct causes, because it's a very complicated problem. We say also it has multidimensional issues here. But another thing within the social factor we identified was the gender inequality, because in the Indian community we have less women compared to men. So for every 1,000 men, we have about 900 women.
Oh, so the women are fewer?
Yes.
How is that, and why?
The reason behind it, that if you look into the Indian culture, it is very strange for me, as being a lady from such a background. It is strange because you see, I don't know if any other religion has a female goddess, god has. So we worship a lot of gods, the female aspects of gods. Let's say it clearly. And so you would say that females have the highest position, or one of the highest position in the social perception of people.
Yeah.
At the same time, when you go to the day-to-day lives of people, the women are valued less. Less in the sense that...
It's a contradiction of sorts.
It's a very contradictory thing. But what does then happen? If a family, they have children, boy, girls. Boys will stay in the family after the marriage and take care of the family. So that is already valued higher. A girl will marry and go out of the family, go to another family to take care of those people there. So from a rational point of view, then Indians will say, okay, why would you invest so much in your daughters?
Oh, okay.
And so there has been always a kind of tendency not to send them to the best educations, because you spend a lot of money, time, and at the end they will leave. So from the rational point of view. Another thing is also, in a very traditional marriages, they, give a lot of bride
to the man.
Yes. So it is a very costly adventure to have a daughter.
Yes.
That's the main thing from a rational point of view.
Yeah.
So what happens is that now, due to TV technology, all people become aware of how to prevent, pregnancies. How for nowadays also all these pills are available for abortion.
Yes.
So the tendency, to have
girls,
females, daughters in the family is now decreasing, and it has been there for decades. It's not something happening now.
No.
So that has been the reason that at the end you see this inequality in gender.
So the women have become considered like a liability, so to speak, because they are costly to have and to maintain, and therefore let's have less women.
Yes.
And let more men,
Yes.
let's just have more men instead.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Sure.
It's amazing.
So from the social background, that was one of the main things, which is there obviously already for, if you look in the statistics, we see this decline in the past 40 years. We don't have statistics going further backward. Yeah. Another thing is that, sex is a taboo to talk about in educational setting. So that also gives this, certain perception to boys. Cultural factor, what I said also, the masculinity. It is a society where masculine values or characteristics are more valued. From an institutional point of view, we see that more legislation is being worked on based on all these recent accidents.
Which recent accidents?
The recent accidents in the gang rape.
Okay, that's what you mean.
So educational system, what I told you about, actually also a very contradictory thing is that the Kama Sutra, which is literature on sex, has been invented there, or, so it is strange that sex has become a
taboo. Absolutely, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But well, this thing came from India. Right?
Yeah. But it has to do with the history, the Victorian age. The influence from the British. So then it has become a taboo, and so that is one of the contradictories.
So the taboo is coming from. You see, the Victorian age, when the English were ruling India, they kind of made it taboo, or what? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It was not done to talk about these topics.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you were talking about gender inequality, social factors.
Another thing I must say is also the influence of Western countries. India is or has become a very booming business for industries from abroad.
Yeah.
So actually, I think in 1991, it has opened the doors for foreigners starting businesses. So a lot of entrepreneurship happened, and a lot of entrepreneurs came from abroad. But the past 10 years, we've seen a lot of growth. The middle class increases, or incomes increases. So, meaning that people have prosperity, they can spend more, and that's why more foreign products, more foreign companies are coming. So the influence is, becoming much more dominated by Western values. They see a lot on TV, or a lot of internet. So while their own context is maybe putting too much taboo on stress, on sex, and not talking freely about these things in schools, etc. There is another channel for them.
Yes, to
So,
see things and to hear things and to learn.
Yeah, so that's disturbing aspect. We don't know how it really works, because you need to really talk to people then more to see how the Western influence is there. But we have noticed there is an influence, the way people dress. Ladies in India, in the bigger places like Delhi, Bombay, will be just dressed like Western girls. And that's something boys are not able to cope with, because they were brought up in a different way. We see also the migration happening, because people move from their places to all these industrialized areas to get jobs, because they are better paid. Sometimes they go there and stay almost a year, and twice going back to bring the money for a year. Okay. So this is also a way to, the social structure which was there in the village. The people know each other. People respect, also the neighbors, the daughters of the neighbors. We're like a family. This concept of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the whole world is a family. It has been such an important value in the Indian society. But due to, this migration, people go away from their social structures and become strangers in a new place, and dare to do many more things then.
No, but are you saying with all the, let's say, the openness, people become more educated, more informed, that with all these things, that people can still commit such crimes? Are you saying that previously, when the whole world was seen like a village, people were more civilized and they were not involved in such criminal acts, and that there were no honor-related crimes? Is that what you're saying?
There were certainly honor-related crimes.
There were? But how much?
So.
In terms of...
But I can't tell statistics. But okay, of course, nowadays people talk easily about these things, so maybe we had those, but then it was very much, not on a superficial level, so people could not find out about it. But still, the social structure was there, and everybody knew each other. People were living in their caste. They knew about each other's lives and how things were going. So it was not like one of the reasons for honor-related crimes in India is if you go out from your caste to marry another caste. So it was more protected, or more, controlled kind of from their social ties, and that was one of the reasons. But I don't say that any influence or openness is bad, and that is the main or only reason for crimes. I'm just saying that there are so many factors. When we started with the study, we said also it is such a difficult topic, because so many aspects, factors that have influence, but indirectly, like migration, all these things are indirectly, but they are there. And they are not something which you can just abandon in a few years. They are deeply rooted in the culture.
Okay, so what you're saying is that these things, these honor-related issues or crimes have been there, but now all of a sudden they're getting a certain publicity, and the world is getting to see something which probably has been going on for a long time. Maybe not so frequent, but it's been happening. But now the world is getting to see what really has been going on in Indian society or Asian society. Okay, now, so we're trying to understand why and you are saying that it has to do with several factors, the caste system, somebody from one caste going to marry another, provoke things like that. Are you saying also that the exposure to the modern day, issues, modern day information on the internet, in the news media, boys can get to see sex issues with sex content, and what they normally are not used to talking about at home or in the family because it's a taboo. Now they can get to see things. They are exposed to Western lifestyle and Western movies and what have you. So some of this is an influencing factor to people wanting to behave this way.
Yeah, one of the factors, indirectly, because it's a mixture. Given the fact also that there are less women compared to boys, so that's why it is a more complex thing than we think of. Just saying that it has to do with the culture only. It's the cultural aspect. It's the social ties that are loosened now. It's the Western influence. It's the way education, try not to focus on these topics. It's the way ladies these days dress up. It's a combination. So it's a very tough issue to look into, and yeah.
Okay, so now from the research you did, which insight did you get from that research which you can share with our listeners regarding, what you've just share with us some of the things you found out, which might be of interest to our listeners.
Yeah, in the research we looked into the documentation which was already available regarding the gang rape, and all the discussions we followed, and we could see that this is not something which is being accepted. So because sometimes people will say, okay, it's not a civilized community, it is there, but it's not that the majority just say, oh, we accept it. So there has been a lot of protest, which is a very good thing.
No, there has been. When has there been protest?
Protest in India right after that.
No, that was somehow in the news got out.
Yes.
And people were outraged by the whole thing. But it looks like it has been an accepted way of handling this kind of family issues, and people accepted it as normal.
That's true.
I would say it has been an accepted thing. I think for sure it was there, but maybe less. There are so many factors that increases the rate. We can see it in the statistics already. We look at statistics from 40 years. So we can't say it was not there, it was there. Okay, how people dealt with it in those days, I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
But what we see now is that there is this tendency also to express that is not done. We can't accept it. And that's a good thing, because then only big changes can happen. People are sending letters, petitions to the Prime Minister. So there is a lot happening to change this whole idea of it can't be there. It can't be accepted. It's not something we should accept.
Okay, I think we can safely admit the fact that this thing has been ongoing. Now, of course, the world has gotten to know, and so everybody is kind of protesting against that, including Asians, and which is a good thing. Now, it's quite serious that things like this can happen. Now, let me give you one scenario. There's in African culture. Let me speak about Ghana, for example. If a young lady who is unmarried, maybe a teenager, going to school, goes to get pregnant, that, of course, is enough disgrace for the family. The parents, of course, get very upset. And they might want to discipline the girl. They might do something, punish the girl or whatever. But the other way to look at it is that, okay, if the girl is pregnant, she's pregnant with a baby, that's another life.
Yes.
So out of respect for the life
Yeah.
that is on the way, they would harm the girl. They will forgive whatever the girl has done. They will punish the girl, but forgive and make room to accommodate the unborn baby. And when the baby is born, they receive the baby, everybody is happy. You know, they give that girl a chance to make up for what she did wrong. You see, so the disgrace which the girl actually brought gets covered up somehow, gets treated nicely, and life goes on very well.
Yeah.
You know, I would imagine if something like that would happen in India, the girl would have been killed.
And the child too.
You know, so I'm trying to relate the thing. I mean, there are issues pertaining to, which bring disgrace and dishonor to the families, which we have in African culture, for example. But the other ways of dealing with it, but to go to the extent of killing and maiming somebody or damaging, that's quite serious. I believe that's why the whole world kind of was shocked and outraged by this thing. And so one wants to find out, why would such a thing happen? And if it has been going on for years, why would it go to that extent? You know, and that's a puzzle that most people are really trying to solve.
Yeah.
See, and hopefully you can give us some more answers. You've already given some answers.
Yeah.
But what is
the point is what I said in the beginning.
Yes.
This rational analysis that his daughter is costly.
Yes.
So you can bring it back to the cultural dimension.
A daughter is costly.
And you could give away the daughter, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, if she gets married.
Yes. But
in this case,
you have a question?
Yes, I have. Yeah, but in this case, daughter is costly. But in this case, like the recent incident that somebody was stoned to death, a pregnant woman, and the other one was also that the lady had married from another group, another caste.
Yes.
All right, so if a daughter is costly and already this daughter is already married, so how does it affect the family again?
Yeah.
Why should they go to that level of stoning her to death?
That's a very big puzzle, because at least if a daughter is married, then you don't interfere. So that's one of the things that it's rarely. But
Dr. Sharda, you are an Asian. I want to see some more. How do I say it? I know you're being a bit maybe
diplomatic,
politically correct, about this thing. But really, from an Asian, you have an Asian blood. I want you to tell me, let me feel the Asian emotion. Why an Asian family will not tolerate a girl who brings disgrace to the family, or something like that, which will prompt honor-related violence or crime. Please share.
I haven't been political or whatever. I'm a researcher. I looked into the factors.
Yeah, exactly.
Being here, living so many years here, I can't relate to these things. I can't say it.
You were born in Suriname?
Yeah, I was born in Suriname. I'm living here for 30 years. I have my Indian ties. And I travel. I love the country. I've been traveling maybe 15 times. So I love it to be there, and I know how many good people are over there. All these insights from the spirituality topic I'm dealing with are coming from India. So there are so many sides if you talk about Indian culture. This is one of the main, how do you say it? It's a very, very huge problem. Huge in the sense that maybe it has been there, but okay, now it is more
pronounced.
Public world,
But wait, you've been there 15 times. This issue must have gotten your attention along the line, even when you were growing up. Because generally speaking, people from different cultural backgrounds, they impart certain values and norms to their children, whether they like it or not. They grow up with that, If somebody is born here African, they still will have certain African traits and characteristics, and values and norms. They will get it anyway, So you must have known about some of these things growing up, okay? And I don't know how you felt, how you must have felt knowing that people could be killed or hated or cast out for going to marry from another caste, for example. Tell me from your emotions.
For my own perception. See, in India, I have friends living in Bombay, girls having all the freedom I have here.
Okay.
There are others living maybe in some other places where they are more, orthodox and different. So India is such a country, it's a continent. It has all the aspects. Whatever you can think about, you can find it in India. I must say, the Indian society in the Surinamese community is, they have been influenced, of course, being abroad. So their main values are there, but it's not that we automatically accept all the values, or we say, okay, this has been there, so we continue with it. The surveillance of things that are happening in India compared to Suriname, I don't think it is such an issue in the Surinamese community. I can't recall any of these accidents in the Surinamese community, really. I know, see, the point is, in Suriname, we have to live with several communities. All from the beginning, you don't know it differently. So if you go to school, you will have someone from having African roots. From someone from Indonesia, also, Chinese people. So you are already brought up in a multicultural society. You know your values, you know about your caste, you know about your religiousness and what your family is expecting. But it is not that we only close our eyes and say, okay, these are the values, so we are not open to it. So I think, okay, if you look back in the history of Suriname, a few of these incidents might have been there. I'm not aware of it. I know that it was not done to get married to another ethnic group. But I think now, if you look back 30 years, it has changed. Influence is there. People living here as well, those Surinamese people, Indian people living here, they have this influence from the Netherlands. So that is also something, you already always have the ties still with the Surinamese community. So also the influence is there. I don't think you can compare Indians living here, Indians living in the Surinamese community with Indians living in Bombay and Indians living in, any far places in Tamil Nadu or Hyderabad or Delhi. It is because within the country itself, over there are differences. So I know. There are communities who are very strict in their caste.
Yeah, but hold on. This issue, which prompts these honor-related issues, are they not universal in India? Or you think it's only limited to particular groups or particular castes or particular social segments?
I think it's limited. We can't say it's limited only to this or that group. We see in the statistics that these crimes are happening more in the central part of India and the north part, so in the Delhi area. So there are those statistics available that it's not a universal thing, it's not happening everywhere in that same intensity. That's why we were looking in, these issues of migration, the influence of Western industries, etc. So that's what I want to make clear. At least it is, in the statistics that geographically it is different. I think, given the fact that we have so many castes, within the caste there are also some sub-caste or ethnicity. Nowadays you won't find many of these villages where only the Brahmins are living or only Chatris are living. So it is more mixed. There are still some of the communities, but not that. I can tell you about maybe one example. One lady, I've met her, or actually she was a girl. She studied here or wanted to study. She worked here. She met a boyfriend, an Indian boyfriend from a Brahmin caste, but she was Rajput. You can say, I don't know the word in English, Adil, from Adil, like higher class.
Higher class,
Huh?
okay.
Yeah. So she wanted to get married. And then the family refused. They said, no, you need to get, find someone from your own Rajput family. This has been going on for 5 years. And she has been introduced to so many, families. But she could not find any suitable one. And, being from a rich family, she was already... She was used to the luxury, etc. So okay, she was here for a few months to work. She went back. Was not living with a family anymore because she was having a job in another area.
Yeah.
Boy was here. Boy is still here, working part-time in the Netherlands, part-time in Brussels. What happened? Only Friday she told me. So this is very recent. She sent me a wedding picture. She's
with a boy.
With a boy.
Okay.
Okay.
So she broke the rules and the traditions.
Yes, she broke every rule, every tradition. She got married in her, the place where the boy lives, because those family, those parents were more open. Finally, because in the beginning they were not.
They want to, yeah.
So one aunt was present. And one cousin. Okay. But other than no parents, no one came. Okay. And now she's trying to get her visa to come here, and then to join the boy, of course, here, her husband. So this has been going on for so many years. But see, she was highly educated. Yes. She was not living in a family. In another place because she could, for study reasons, go out to the house. So she could feel the independence, she could independently think. It was a different situation for her, but still that could, have been another example that still in the Indian context, some of these ladies, they are able to break the traditions and move on with their lives. And she will come here and do an MBA at one of the universities. And she have been working so hard to get, enough money to pay for the MBA. Usually the parents pay for every trip, for everything. But this is a very conscious decision she has been taking, and it has been going on for years. So this is one of the other examples to say that it can happen also, if the girl is really determined and...
But if she were in India, maybe she might be attacked, or she might be.
And if she goes back
for taking that step.
Yeah, but she is in India, huh?
Yeah.
She's still in India. The marriage was in India.
Okay, the guy went over there.
Yeah.
For them to get married. Okay.
Yeah.
The parents were they aware?
Only the parents of the boy.
Yeah. Okay, but not the girl.
They were not. They did not show up.
Okay, so this leads me to the next question. How was it again? Now this issue. How do modern Asians, let me say, perceive this issue? Because these intercaste marriages, the issues are around it, and what we're dealing with right now, unrelated crimes. How do modern Indian or Asian people like yourself, see it? Are you frustrated by this whole thing? Are you looking for a way to put that aspect of your social life or social, issues behind? Because it's quite a barrier. I mean, I was in school some years back, university with some Indian friends. We're great and everything. They were both male and female. But I didn't really see, the Asian ladies or dating maybe, people from the other race, for example. I didn't see much of a, connection. So I knew already that, okay, the Indians were pretty, or Asians were quite reserved or conservative, I should say, in who they went out with and who they dated and stuff like that.
Yes.
So looking back, and you being a modern Asian, what are you saying? Is there a change, and what do you hope to see? Do you want it to get better than it is right now?
Yeah, sure.
You
sure.
do?
Yeah. Actually, when I started this article, writing this research report, I mobilized these two ladies over there. I said, okay, I can do it from here, but we should jointly work on this stuff.
Yes, yes.
And we need to make every little change, whatever, bringing this to the table of people, to make them aware that this is something we can't accept. So we have been writing this in a very short time, and now we have been talking recently about, okay, what would be the follow-up?
Yeah.
So I've asked one of them, see, I'm not there that often, but there are so many of these incidents happening. Let us try to give an overview of the several types of these issues, and see what we can do with it. And there are some what we already did, because before we wrote this article, we have this foundation of critical choices in India, which is a foundation here already existing for years, 30 years or so. And we try to deal with issues, relevant issues in India. And this topic was already in 2010 on our list. So we wrote a white report, which we sent to the minister in India. We have sent it to all these NGOs working on, empowering ladies issues. So we have been pushing that. We have been sending, I think, to many of these institutes and agencies. So now, years later, we have this report. We are making now a list also to send it to all different influential people over there. Because we can't just write and the change will happen.
No,
you need really people in the local area, in the at grassroots level, but also at the highest level of minister and governmental level, who really want to take this up seriously. So this is one of the first steps actually from our side, and we will see.
Have you had any response to the article you wrote?
Many response. People said, okay, we have read so many things in the media, but to see it now as a kind of comprehensive landscape, and so many factors are there, that was interesting for them. Because otherwise you easily say, what is the caste system? So, okay, we can't change that, so, why should we bother? But to see that, okay, little things can be done. Let us talk about sex education, or in the educational setting. Let us talk about these issues just slowly. Recently, last year, I was in India on the date of 16th of December, and everywhere there was police in India. The roads where I would drive, or I had a driver then. It took me 3 hours instead of 40 minutes. Wow. Because everywhere,
checkpoints,
checkpoint everywhere. So it is not something that they say, okay, it happened, so we can't change. People are very aware about it. And in several of these colleges, they had played this role. This incident was inspiration for many plays, musicals, or it's not the right word, plays in school, and just to bring it back to the agenda, and meaning that in the colleges, which is one of the main places to get change.
Yes.
And also some groups started with parents, conversations, dialogue. So the local level, a lot is happening. Also from other friends, I've understood that there are some people from the Bollywood industry trying to get attention for this. So they have had many seminars to talk about why we should abandon these practices, and going back really to the root cause, discussing about the value of ladies etc. So not only on Women's Day, but really spread over the year. They are gathering, they are talking about. So there is a lot happening. We don't know when we will have the results. From here, I can't do much except, giving my views to them and see, okay, how can we contribute. But for sure, it is something which needs to get attention from several agencies, institutes at the highest level also.
Okay. Now, if you listen to this program, you want to give us a call. In the next few minutes we have, you can give us a call 020-737-1619. You can share your thoughts with us on this topic. Okay. Now, time has run so fast. I was intending to take a break, but we can do that now. Let me just read this article I just pulled out. It says this happened in Islamabad, Pakistan. An 80-year-old woman miraculously survived after being shot and thrown into a canal by her father for marrying against the family's wishes.
Jesus.
Police said, describing the latest in a series of such attacks on women in the Muslim-majority country. The assaults on Wednesday came days after a 25-year-old woman was beaten and stoned to death by her family for marrying a man they did not approve of. So when a man is also not accepted by the family, then the girl also can be in trouble. There can be an issue there. So this is one of the hundreds of so-called honor killings carried out every year in Pakistan against women accused of bringing shame to their conservative families through sexual transgressions. So this is not one or two incidents, hundreds is happening.
Yeah. See, lately I have been discussing with some friends as well and saying, okay, why this such a practice is not happening in Dubai, for example, Saudi Arabic countries, because also the similar type of men as expats are there. But there is law, the punishment. So if you have severe punishment, I think that's one of the main things the government should do. That's the immediate action. Actually.
Yeah, immediate action.
So those are insights saying that it's not, you can't just generalize it. It's in the Indian genes of, man, and it's happening everywhere.
Yes.
But so you need to really get good, proper legislation, punishment in place. Then
I think the government has been too slow in dealing with
yes.
this.
Sure. The government has been slow in dealing with corruption, in dealing with these issues. So that is for sure the case.
Okay. So in a direct way, they support these things. I mean, okay, they may say they are conservative or they are traditionalists and they believe in maintaining the values and the norms of their ancestors or whatever it is, and so they are not quick to respond to these things. But the world sees it differently now. Yeah. So they have to.
I won't say it is to protect their values, because that's the point. The problem is with, the Indian culture, the Hinduism is giving so much wealth, but because
so
it's
much
wealth in spiritual wealth, how to behave, how to yogic philosophy is giving a lot of. We know Mahatma Gandhi's ahimsa policy. That was also such a great leader. And, so I don't want to say it is because they want to protect their values. What values? It's part maybe of the values they think they need to be. They need to protect. It's the perception of the values, because there is a huge wealth of really how to deal with people, civilized values over there. But it is very complex. Hinduism is complex, and people take one bit and make interpretation and think that's it. But I don't think any scripture is telling you that you need to do these things to women. I don't think so. So it is the misinterpretation. It is the dominance of men and the way they think they need to go on with this. But it is also, I think, everywhere in the world there is change for bringing back more female power.
Absolutely.
So I hope that will change also in the context.
Yes. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so very much for coming to share your thoughts with us on this very sensitive and difficult topic.
Yeah.
And we hope that your voice will be added to those of many out there crying out for change. Okay. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah.